Giants just wanted to go too mainstream for the masses.
Yeah, it's the whole available for console thing, isn't it?
Or just split the development like Siege ended up doing. Because you can guarantee the console team are not working on the PC side of it, and the PC team are not working on the console side of it. So just split it off. Like, it's just an excuse not to do it.
Egregious, I don't think what you're saying is true. I don't think it's about being close enough. It's not about it being close enough to farming. It's they don't take their own game and move it forward significantly every 2 years. They just change the maps, add some more vehicles. The physics of it never really changed. They might improve the lighting a little bit or whatever. It doesn't really push farming forward or the simulation of farming forward. That's my problem. They still keep it as like an arcade sim, not an actual sim. It's that disappoints me. I mean, I don't know if you polled the farming sim players and said, you know, are you happy with this as it is, or would you want a more authentic experience? How many of them would say, I would like a more authentic experience?
80-20.
I was going to say quite a few, considering the...
No, as in 80 wouldn't want it to change and 20 would.
I don't know so much, because if you look at the downloads of like the GPS mod and then Seasons before it came into the game...
Well, what would then be interesting is if you said to the console market how many would want a more of a sim experience, and then ask the PC market...
99.
I wonder what you'd get then.
Yeah, but from mods is not the way to solve the game.
It would probably be an 80-20 again, but on console it would be 80 to stay, and on PC it would be 80 to change, right?
Well, so many of the most popular mods for Farm Sim essentially made it more realistic.
Yeah.
So doesn't that in and of itself tell you that that's what people want?
Yeah, and the mods are more available for PC than they are for console, right?
They are. But that's not to say that the console market doesn't hanker for it. They just can't get it. You know what I mean? They may still want it.
I say it's just, you know, having played it from Farm Sim 2009 or whatever that was, and then was it 11, then 13, then 15, then 17, then 19. Like for a decade, it didn't change. You know, the quintessential underneath was still the same. And yes, they tweaked it. Yes, they made improvements. Yes, it was different. I'm not saying that. It's just it wasn't significantly enough different. PLS 22 was not significantly enough different for me to even consider purchasing it, you know? And that's from somebody that's, you know, owned every other farming sim since the beginning. And, you know, got the farm sim controller and all that kind of nonsense as well, you know?
I mean, a lot of modders left the whole platform, didn't they, when it got to, I think it was 19.
Yeah, 17 they fluttered, and then 19.
So many great modders just went, you know what, I'm done. I mean, that's not a great thing for Giants to cause to happen.
It was the same way with Euro Truck, wasn't it? Like, that modding base just got bored and moved on.
Yeah, because they keep changing the platform underneath their feet all the time. They're constantly fixing mods instead of making new ones. And the amount of maps and mods that broke when Farm Sim 19 came out is crazy.
Well, it's like, take Ferrocon, for example. He was given a key to 19 and, like, hasn't found enough of a reason to upgrade to 22. Like, and I don't blame him for that, you know?
Like, what are you blaming the console version on from?
Well, that's the thing, Pep. They never really brought seasons in. I mean, I can understand why they didn't bring it in. It's difficult, but I'm sorry, if you're a farmer, seasons are a part of life. The weather is important, seasons are important. Like, all these things matter to farmers.
But that's the same thing again, like, surely that's a slider, right? Of, do you want it
ultra realistic or arcade.
Do you want it like tornado, or do you want it like, nah, I just want the sun to shine all the time, you know?
Farm no different to a FIFA game, pretty much.
Paul, you know your Azov that's parked on the T-junction?
The fuel tanker?
Yeah.
Right.
I just need to go down the road and bring it back, okay? So, please don't panic if it's missing.
What have you emptied you?
I've got down to 13 units.
Oh, is that you in the middle?
Yeah, it's me in the very middle. It's not far to go. I thought I could make it to the service station, but...
I was going to say, you're not far from the fuel station.
I mean, I'm down the road if you want me to give you some fuel, so you can make it here.
Well, I literally just need a top-up, so I was just going to take the tank.
I was going to say, I'm literally at the fuel station just down the road.
SCS should have made a new version you need to pay for already, pay for a patch. I'm not sure what you're getting at there, Harry.
Yeah, but isn't that, again, like, what more can you do with it? You know, other than...
They can't do much more with that game.
Other than the geographic improvements that they're doing.
Still on the original engine, isn't it?
I mean, if you think they're not earning enough money, I would point out that they've grown from 20 people to 150 people in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So I would argue they have enough people. They have a team that is 6 times the size of the one that they had. A lot more capability. But yet, the actual content that comes out, the kind of frequency of it and the scope of it hasn't changed hugely. I think the quality's gone up.
Remember, SCS was split between ATS. Yeah, but surely they're two different dev teams working on the games, not the same team. Unless I just don't understand how that works.
Well, I mean, it's not quite that simple. You know, the underlying engine of the game, the physics, etc., the gameplay is shared between the two. Obviously, it's all the assets that tend to be different.
That's what I meant. Like the truck teams and the asset teams will be independent. Surely, because that would make more sense to get more content out.
So do we foresee it like the mind's eye that when they finally finish mapping the whole of Europe without the aid of a mod, that they're going to do an ETS3 and start again? Is that really what the long-term goal is? Really?
I can't ever see them throwing away all of their mapping content. If they made a 3, they would bring it all over. And it wouldn't really be different.
Re-asset it.
I don't think they'd be that different. The only reason to go up a major version is if they can't keep 2 going without breaking a load of stuff with a big update. That's kind of what Train Sim will do. They kind of release a major update that's incompatible with stuff beforehand, except their own stuff, which they migrate over. I don't know. I prefer SCS doing what they do to Dovetail doing what they do with Train Sim. Yeah, I don't know, Chris, if they'll ever do the UK. The UK's not even that big. It wouldn't take them that long to redo it, but they wouldn't get any revenue for doing it, so it's literally a cost. They got to pay all those people's salaries for 4 months or whatever it takes. And for what benefit? How many people go to the UK in the game anyway?
Didn't they say months and months and months ago that was after they redid somewhere in Europe they were going to do the UK?
I don't know, I'd pay £3 to have an updated UK, but that'd be my limit, you know.
But that would break the current model of like existing core content is never charged for. So they'd have to break that mold. And then, you've got pro mods, which already kind of scratches that itch for somebody that wants a better UK.
I would love to know how big the pro mods team is compared to the SCS team.
Pro mods team's not very big.
Because the amount of content that pro mods team pumps out for people.
Yeah, but and there's the other problem with Euro Truck mods is the expectation is that they're always free. Like, people absolutely hate groups that charge for Euro Truck mods. They're almost like, it's almost like a pariah. Like, you want me to pay for that track? You want to pay for that map?
Yeah.
What? Whereas in Flight Sim community, it's perfectly acceptable to do that. And so pro mods are a team of complete volunteers that don't really get any revenue beyond either donations or people, tipping them £1 when they download the zip file. So it is just a team of volunteers, and how long do they want to carry on doing it?
Yeah, but that's an option as well, isn't it? You haven't got to pay €1.
Yep, correct. There is no forced payment, Chris. It's like, it's €1 for one zip file, or you can download a bunch of zip files for free. And I've always paid. I've always given them money.
Yeah, when I first played it, I gave the €1 because I didn't want like 8 zip folders.
Well, everybody's got to put bread on the table. That's my point of view. Yeah, I don't know, mechanic. Is it really free?
I was going to say, you could say Fortnite's free, but then it's not because people pay for the battle pass and stuff. So it's like, it's the same with Call of Duty's free battle royale, whatever it's called.
I mean, a lot of what it's like in Fortnite. I don't play it, but a lot of free-to-play games, you can, pay to accelerate your way through them, or pay to have premium ammo, which you might be able to get in the game, but a lot of free-to-play players aren't running it because it's a grind to get it. So although you're playing for free, you're not playing on a level playing field by doing so. But then you only have to go to Gamescom and see the World of Tanks stand to realise just how much money they are rinsing, because their stand is as big as the Microsoft stand or the PlayStation stand. It is absolutely huge. And for a game that costs nothing to play, that's pretty impressive, the stand they've got. And if you know how much exhibits cost to be at, you realise just how much money that cost them.
Well, as a ballpark figure, I would put like at least like £2,500 per square feet ish.
Yeah, I don't know about Gamescom, but I mean, I remember the NEC and Insomnia, and you know what Asus used to have to pay, and it's just eye-popping the figures. And I can't imagine Gamescom being cheaper.
Yeah, and that's like per square feet for like no broadband or no power.
Yeah.
Like, if you want extra services, that's extra as well. Like,
That's it, yeah. Oh, you want an internet connection? All right, that's 10,000.
oh, you want us to put light in your square foot that you've hired? Oh, yeah. In order for you to get light, we need to install some additional lighting in your zone, you know.
So many OP tanks in there. Yeah, there are many tanks that you can only get by buying, isn't there? And some of them are just, like you say, overpowered. And people hate coming up against them because they know it's just somebody with cash. No, Ben White.
Well, at least you got that right, Paul.
Yeah. Right. What are you working on?
I'm doing eco action.
I'm doing down to the last screw. But I'm currently stuck trying to cross a river because all 3 bridges have not been put together yet.
A river?
A river, yeah. It's like a river, Paul, but better.
Yeah, it's a river.
Does it wave?
Yes, it does.
Oh, the vehicle spare parts one. Right, is there any of these that we need multiple vehicles for, I wonder? Special beams times 4. What, metal beams from the Institute, really? There's only 3 there.
There's an unlimited supply of metal beams on the Harvest Corp map.
Yeah, but we need 4 for that mission, and there's only 3 left in the Institute.
Yeah, there's one in the middle, just up the road from where I am. It just needs craning on. So you could get
the one on the
from
ground.
This map. Yeah, it's on the ground.
Metal beams. Okay. So I have to do that, and then visit the container area, and then deliver the power transformer. And a metal detector's recommended. Is that for the container search area?
Last time it said bring a metal detector, I went there and the container was just in the middle of the of the road. Like, oh, I needed a metal detector to see this.
Oh, I forgot to hide it. NHS, thank you for gifting a sub to Arakas. Welcome back, Arakas. So metal beams are 2 slots, aren't they? So I could get all of them on a Western Star.
Nope, only 2.
I thought it was 4 slot.
Yeah, but they take 2
times
slots each.
2, 4. He needs a coffee, Sammy.
It's math, isn't it?
He needs a coffee.
2 times 2 is 4. 2 4s are 8.
2 8s are 16.
In order to get an 8, you need the heavy-duty trailer, and we solemnly declared that we wouldn't ever do that ever again.
Oh, don't. Actually, it might be alright on this map because most of it's tarmac. It's only taken 2 years and like 8 seasons, and you might be able to use that truck.
Well, we used it before. It was just quite painful.
That's one word for it.
Oh, here we go. Do you need my help on that one, Paul, or are you...
Well, there's 2 lots to do, so... and I haven't got a crane on this truck, that's the problem. So
Well, I do have a crane on my current truck, so if I drive that down the road where...
It needs to go south side of Institute.
Well, if I go and pick that one up off the ground...
Right.
Then that'll give you, if I drive that back down, if I've got enough fuel for that, if I drive them back down to the warehouse, there'll be 4 at the warehouse, sort of, yeah?
Are you going to leave your crane there, or what?
I can do.
Well, I can't load. I can take 2 metal beams, but I can't load them. And we need to move
I don't know whether
forward.
you're going to be able to get pups into a twin steer and help you. Silence is golden.
Or maybe just pull out a big truck and an 8 slotter.
I did not hear. I was focusing on something else. Sorry, what was going on?
We said Pups is playing Factorio later, and he's ordering us all a kebab.
If I had the money, Paul, I would get you and Sammy a kebab.
Oh, that's nice if you may.
One day I will.
One day, Pups will deliver her a kebab. When he's a famous football player.
Yeah,
Sorry,
good.
rugby player.
Yeah.
I was going to say you what, mate?
Good luck with Deliveroo and me anything.
I'll hand deliver it to you, Sammy.
I say, considering the kebab I ordered last night at 6 o'clock arrived at 5 minutes before the end of the stream, which is nearly 2 hours. That's...
Is it normally that long?
It's... Do you know what it is, Paul? Genuinely, it's unpredictably between 20 minutes and 2 hours.
Right.
That's the window. Average, it's about an hour, normally. But on the odd, like it was Saturday, for example, you know...
I can't imagine ordering food and then having a window like that. Because, like, if you're ordering food, it's because you're hungry. And then waiting 2 hours for a kebab, that's too much.
I'd ring up and say, send me another 4, mate.
Well, it's like, it's, yeah.
Yeah, can you get it here in an hour or not? If not, don't bother. Are they all like that? Like if you order a Chinese or something else, are they all like that?
Chinese is between 20 minutes and an hour. Sometimes it goes to an hour and a half if they're really busy. Indian is usually 45 minutes-ish. And that's actually stupid because that's probably one of the furthest ones that come.
How far away is it? You just go there yourself and get it?
It's 5 miles. So it's a 10-mile round trip if I go and get it.
That would still be faster.
Well, the default would be that if I order a kebab from the next village along, which is about 4.5 miles, I think Food Hub says. So it would take me about 15 to 20 minutes to drive there. So if I ordered, normally I could order it, leave, and then by the time I get there, they sort of pass it over the counter. So by the time I was back, that would still take 40 minutes, for example. So that's the sort of shortest time possible, is 40 minutes, really.
It was clearly not driving fast enough, so...
Well, it's them tractors in the way, mate. It sort of slows you down sometimes.
Oh, is it? Is it them tractors? Paul, I can actually get you a Tommy Tucker's in November because I'm in Whittam for the day.
Whittam for the day? You did one of your Whittam day trips?
Yeah.
From where you live, Whittam is not a day trip.
Yes, it is. It's 4 hours there, depending on traffic.
It is food talk, Chris. It's a day trip if you get up at 6 a.m.
I've just got to check this.
I know how far it is. I did it recently.
No, like for me to get to you.
Oh yeah, you should know where I live.
Yeah, so it's 5 hours for me to get to you, ish. And it's 250 miles.
So I was that. It's just getting to a motorway.
Yeah, an hour at least. Like I say, it was only 6 years ago, mate, and I finally got a bit of dual carriageway that connects me with the rest of the world. Like,
Crazy.
seriously, the Elvedon A11 used to be single carriageway up until 2015, I think it was.
Okay, so to me to get to Whittam is 250 miles.
Yeah, so
But
for
the
me
big difference is it's all on the M1.
Yeah, so for me to get to you, for me to get to the M1 is 2 hours. Right, Paul, if you want me to only load up one metal, and then I'll chuck the one that I've got on.
Yeah, apparently I've got to go down, Paul. See my nan and granddad, and pick up a sofa for them.
Mate, you can barely get on the sofa. How are you going to pick one up?
Do you know why, Paul? Do you know how? Because I'm mini Incredible Hulk. I may be small, but I'm mighty.
So how are you going to get the other two, or how are we doing this?
I can't fit two on here at once, so...
Technically, you can. You can strap one down and then lift the other one on top and just leave your crane connected to it.
That sounds a bit hacky.
That's what I'm doing now with this mission, because I can only fit two on my flatbed, but I need three. So I've got two strapped down and one sat on top with my crane attached to it so it doesn't go anywhere.
So I was going to leave this here just as a crane, although it's less than a third fuel, and then I don't know whether I'm going to help you with the second bit or whether you'll need to make two trips. I don't know.
Just to clarify, I'm not, in real life, I'm not actually like 2 foot tall. Like, you know this is a joke, right?
He's 2.5.
He's 2.5.
Yes, exactly. That's what it is, Paul. I even have to use a set of step ladders to get on my chair to play a game at my PC. I'm actually 5'7".
Can you actually reach the power button on your PC without assistance?
Yes, I can, Simon. Wow! Wow!
You know what? You should definitely take a acting lessons, Pop, and then sign up for all these like Lord of the Rings series that are going right now. As a hobbit, you'd be fine.
I don't think I'd need acting lessons, Paul. I'm a great actor.
Exactly. If they want an angry hobbit, like you are, for the part,
If they want an angry hobbit, sorry.
You're perfect. You're ready-made. Just stick some hair on your feet and you're good to go.
So, Pops, you say you're 5'7"?
Yes.
Do you work that out to be just over 65 inches, Paul?
I don't... 5'7" seems too much to me.
What do you mean seems too much? What are you trying to say here?
Because I was just trying to figure out if my main front room TV is bigger than Pops.
5'7" is the perfect size for an F1 driver. See?
Yeah, but you are neither, so that's irrelevant.
Be a jockey.
Can you imagine me?
You need to visit Newmarket on your way past. You'll be right at home, Pops.
I mean, to be fair, I used to work at a riding stable. I mean, granted, I had to use a set of ladders to get onto the hole, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, strict. There's no disrespect to people that are 5'7". It's just Pups is not.
We don't buy it.
We just don't buy that he's 5'7".
You wait till I see you next, Paul. I'm going to bring a tape measure.
Yeah, this isn't a heightist thing, or like a, you know.
So they say. It's against me, though, innit?
Yeah, see, DJ, so you're sort of getting more of the gist as to what me and Paul believe, really.
Oh, whatever. Pups could get a job at the local panto as the Grumpy in Snow White. Why would I do anything that involves snow?
Oh no, we can't.
Oh, yes, he can.
I'm confused on what you two are doing right now.
Really?
What?
I'm guessing it's something from Snow White, and I've never watched Snow White. I have no idea, so...
Paul, there are no words, my man.
I mean, I know it's from a pantomime. I don't have my mohawk anymore. I haven't had my mohawk in, like...
You didn't even have your mohawk for 3 days. It was gone after 3 days.
No, I did. I kept it.
No, it wasn't. It was completely squished.
I still had it.
Yeah, but it wasn't a mohawk.
Are you gonna spend... You telling me, right, Paul, if you had that hair, you'd spend like an hour every morning trying to get it to stand up.
I think if you commit to getting something like that, you kind of have to get the most out of it.
Did I go and get it done?
Go and put the effort in for like a week or two, and then just go, right, you know, can't be bothered anymore.
Did I go and get it done?
We're not disputing you got it done.
Yes.
We're not disputing that, are we? We're saying you just didn't look after it enough to keep it going.
I could not have kept it going, Paul, honestly. It was so much effort.
You just sleep on your side.
Oh yeah, and then when I put my headset on to play a game, it was like spiky, flat, spiky.
Well, couldn't you just like cut out a groove in the middle for your headset and so you had like a dual mohawk front and back?
Cut a slot out with your pillows. You just lie on it. Or maybe just sleep in a chair. Just sleep sat up.
I can't sleep sitting up.
I can't.
Oh, BRP.
I can't either, to be fair.
Oh, that's what I'm delivering the stuff here for. It's going to unlock the garage. Let's see.
On which map?
On the Harvest Court map.
No.
I'm like, why does it need all of this stuff at this place? Can you, when you have a second, Paul, can you track fixing the fixers?
I already accepted a mission that was... Just double check it's not the one I did.
It's not. God, someone's spamming me on Discord. I got like 12 notifications.
You're just popular, mate. Probably messaging you saying there's no way you're 5'7".
It's so me losing it.
Oh wow, that stop sign like can't be knocked over. Interesting.
Magic, Paul. Magic.
The Boy, thank you for 29 months. King Awesome, thank you for 82. Do it again.
I really want a cup of tea.
Why don't you make one?
I'm gonna make one. I'll be up.
I am back.
Rubber.
What am I doing?
Well, there's metal beams. I'll do something else.
Could you do the next Polari group on for me, please?
I've already activated 2 missions recently. Just double check. There's still another one there.
Oh, no, well done.
Chewbacca, thank you for 17 months. Yeah, that might be it, JT. He was 5'7" with the mohawk. That would explain it.
Is he FK?
He's fine. Yeah, he's just making a cup of tea.
I just wondered why there wasn't the reaction of, look, listen, all right?
Five 5'4", I'm going for 5'5" at a push.
I'd go 5'5" after like 13 hours sleep, right?
In his shoes.
With his shoes.
Afternoon, him.
I don't suppose, off the top of your head, you have any idea what engine you had in your Azov for the fuel tanker on the back.
No. Because I would have made that quite a long time ago.
Yeah, no, it's just because there's the 14-litre engine, the 15 and 15.3-litre engine, and the 6.1-litre engine, and the 6.1 puts the fuel consumption down significantly. And I don't know whether it's because the engine you've got in that isn't fully spec'd.
I'd have to recover it to find out.
Yeah, that's...
Because there's no way of viewing it, even if I jump in it, is there?
No, I didn't know whether you had like done at the beginning of the stream and had like a half memory of whatever.
Why have to use 2 different measuring units to tell people? Well, one's imperial, one's metric, right?
I'm back.
You got a brew?
Yeah.
Can't be very strong then. This is what you're going to tell me you used a tea bag from this morning now, aren't you?
Oh. I just wanted something to drink and I didn't have anything in my room. So. And for once, I actually got downstairs and the kettle was filled up.
What?
Yeah.
Who did that?
I'm impressed.
That's a weird thing to do. It's a very strange thing to do and a very inefficient one, because the problem is you want a cup of tea, you don't need to boil the whole kettle. So you don't want it full because you're going to have to boil a whole kettle's worth of water for no reason.
Can I just ask, is that a dad thing or a homeowner thing? Because I tend to do the same, as in, you know, I'll put a cup of water in the kettle to boil it rather than fill the whole thing.
Oh, what you need. I mean, anything else is inefficient.
In my house, a kettle might as well just be full permanently.
Wait, nobody told me I was delivering these metal beams to an active transformer.
What could possibly go wrong? You think it's kind of impossible to fill in a mug of tea?
You should boil loads of water and keep it in the fridge for later. Where did I go through from? Was it Crossroads? Well, you could make iced tea. That's a thing. You're right there, J10. See, emerge chaos, I would say that's better than boiling water on a hob. I don't know if I would like one of them egregious, the Quooker, or whatever they're called.
I saw one of them advertised on TV like 2 days ago.
Yeah, sparkling water, chilled water, and boiling water, right?
And just constant energy consumption.
I think it's 3 kilowatts an hour, every hour, all the time.
Are you serious?
I think so.
I mean, obviously,
I'm surprised you didn't look into it when you had your kitchen done, quite frankly.
No, I looked at it and instantly dismissed it. Like, there's no way I'm having that. Just trying to keep water hot and cold for me.
Yeah, as far what I've been led to believe,
and then buying CO2 tanks wherever they need you to get.
Yeah, from what I've been led to believe by a friend of mine that had his fitted, I think it's something. It's at least 1 kilowatt per hour, as far as I know.
Imagine having one of them now.
If you looked at it, it's like 3 kilowatts an hour, and if you have like the big capacity one, it can be like 5 kilowatts an hour just for that.
If it's drawing that every hour, that's outrageous. Cookies is nowhere near that power to make 2 pots a day. You already gained in terms of electricity for a normal kettle. That doesn't sound feasible.
That wasn't my interpretation.
I mean, it's like a hot water tank, right? It's going to draw a load of kilowatts until it's got the water to temperature, and then it's just going to have to maintain it in an insulated thing, which is going to lose energy, but it's going to have to keep topping it up to keep it hot. But if you draw hot water quite regularly, it's going to refill it with cold and then have to bring it back up to temperature. So a lot of it depends on how much hot water you actually use, as well as its thermal efficiency.
So the Pro 3 is watted at 1600 watts. The Pro 7 is 2900 watts, and the Combi is 2200 watts.
That's its maximum power draw, though, right?
It says standby power consumption is apparently 10 watts on all of them.
Standby, when it's doing nothing but plugged in. And then someone's saying they store water under pressure, so it should be able to boil it quicker. I don't know, we need to find somebody on YouTube who's made a video where they've put one of those measuring plugs on the cooker to see what it draws over like a week or something. The Night Owl, thank you for tier 2, 28 months, and good afternoon to you.
Right, so I'm on their website, and it says however you pronounce a brand name, Combi, which is what you need for their water system, uses 511 kilowatt per hours per year.
511 kilowatts per year.
Yes.
So divide that.
If warm water is used in accordance with the usage patterns and normal everyday usage.
So that's about roughly 10 kilowatts a week.
Yeah.
10 kilowatt hours per week. Which, say 40 pence per kilowatt hour is about £4 a week running cost. If my mental maths is right.
It sounds right.
Put it like this, it's the assessment that I did on it was that if you're a business, in an office, it costs in, because not only is it just energy usage versus time spent by employees at the kettle waiting for it to boil, it makes perfect sense. In a domestic installation, it's more of a toy than a proper, like, this will save me energy, as far as when I really looked into it. Yeah. So if you run like a staff of, say, 8 or more, so bigger than a family dwelling, it makes sense to have a cooker tap,
Yeah, and if you're living at home a lot and you're using hot water a lot, I mean, that's the other thing. You need to look at how often you're using hot water.
Yeah.
In your case, you save on gas. Your central heater no longer has to heat the water up we use in the kitchen. Well, yeah,
Right.
I mean, you're always offsetting. You've got to boil the water somehow, whether it's via gas or electric. But it's a case of, do you boil it on demand, or do you boil it and store it in a insulated container, which is the concept of a hot water tank. Like, the whole reason of a hot water tank is so that you can have a shower or have a bath from hot water that you've already kept. The downside of those things is you fill your bath, you tend to notice the hot water starts to become less hot because it's filling the tank with cold water while you're drawing the hot. You don't get that problem with a combi boiler, or a combi boiler can't spark hot water straight away. It takes like 10 seconds to get going.
Yeah, so it's the wastage of water for those 30 seconds while you're waiting for hot water to come through, right?
But I can tell you that I spend a lot less on water than I do on gas.
One of their, have their flexi tap is £1,500.
Yeah.
What?
So it's alright saying you're going to... Yeah, but how long till you get the return on your investment?
Yeah, but let's say once again, I don't think it's viable in a domestic situation. I don't think it is either. I think it's only viable in a commercial situation. Where, say you've got, say you've got 150 staff, right, and you buy one kettle per 10 people, right, as a guess, but you could just have one of those taps that could cope with 150 people,
It's not like that, though, Sonny. In a commercial environment, if they can go and make a brew with instant hot water, they're not going to stand around waiting for a kettle to boil.
Exactly. It's not going to take them 10 minutes to make a cup of coffee, is it?
No.
Because
your productivity gains.
Exactly. Time and motion study, right?
I can't believe that one tap can cost £1,500. It's a tap.
But yeah, if you want, fizzy water on tap, you're going to have to keep buying those CO2 canisters as well, whatever price they charge, because I'm pretty certain it'll be a proprietary container connection. You won't be able to just buy CO2 from wherever you want.
Do you have a soda stream, Paul?
No. I've never had one, never owned one. No intention of getting one.
I used to, and then one day I got bored and stuck a bottle of wine in it to see what would happen. Bad idea, that. Don't ever try it.
Have they? They come back in fashion? I remember when they first came out and everybody wanted one. Set of 4 cylinders is 70 quid.
What?
So what's that going to do to your annual running cost? You getting a new car, Mrs. Frosty? What are you getting? You got it right, CVR boy. If you're trying to justify a hot tap, then they're not for you.
What are you
It's the same as going into a shop and asking for the price of something, right?
Yeah, those shops that have no prices on anything. If you need to ask, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Talking about shops like that, there's a on one of the shopping parks down where I live. There's this kitchen supplier place that's opened up. That's like for professional chefs. And one knife was 350 quid. I walked in and walked straight back out.
Lol. It's nuts. Mrs. Frosty, we've had well, Mrs. Squirrel's had a Yaris hybrid since 20. We first got one in 2012 or 13, I can't remember. And we've had about, we used to change it every like 2 or 3 years, so we've had a few of them. The new one is has a better motor hybrid system, but they've compromised a lot of the rear door and rear passenger space to make it look more sporty. So because we have dogs, it didn't really work for us, the new one. Like if you've got kids, then that Yaris, the new Yaris, is going to be difficult to put kids in the back.
Not every car has to be sporty. Just because it has a hybrid, it doesn't mean it's sporty.
Do you have issues with the options on the Yaris? Well, I don't know. Over the years, they've removed more and more stuff and made it an option, which is not an uncommon thing. Because what they're trying to do with manufacturers, trying to keep roughly the same price, but the way they do it is by shaving off features that they used to give away and then making them optional extras that you pay for. It's no different to what happens with candy bars when they try to keep the price the same by just shaving a little bit off, and the bar just gets smaller and smaller. And eventually you look at it and go, hang on a minute, that used to be a lot bigger than that.
I know that's a controversial topic for BMW and their subscription-based heated seats, but I don't have a problem with that.
That's because you don't have one.
No, because say if you're like in the UK or Europe, how often are you actually going to use a heated seat for? You're probably not until the winter months, so why not just pay the £10 for a month instead of paying like the extraordinary fee to have it on permanently? I don't see the problem with that.
I get what you're saying. The reason I have a problem with it is because it's an experiment, and if it works, they'll do more of it, and then soon enough, it'll be something that does affect you. And it's something they put on the car that you can't use because they're trying to move everybody towards a subscription model. And it's the feeling of I haven't bought the car; it's not mine. It's a thing that I've bought. Let's say if you paid for it in cash, right? I paid for this thing in cash. All of it is mine. BMW doesn't own any of it. This is all mine. However, there are things on it that don't work unless you keep paying BMW. Does that not sound stupid?
Well, it is stupid, yeah. But what do you actually own that you buy any these days?
Well, with cars, you would like to think that you own all of it, is the concept.
The garage on Harvest Corp is now unlocked.
Lovely. Yes, D-Storm, it's deactivated unless you pay a monthly fee for it. And it's not like something that you can... I wouldn't mind so much, and maybe they do this, I don't know. But do BMW allow you to pay a fixed fee to just unlock the heated seats permanently? Or is the only way to do it to keep paying every month?
No, I think there is a way you can, when you buy your car, you can just have it unlocked.
Because I don't mind that so much, because they've put something on the car, disabled it, and said, well, if you want it, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, but
It's
let's say
ridiculously
someone's...
expensive, right?
Yeah, but what isn't? Any optional extra on a car is ridiculously expensive, and I can't
Wait,
say that word.
Timmer, where have you got this from? You need to sell the Tesla back to Tesla. Where the heck have you got that from? That's completely not true.
No, you don't.
That is entirely not true. In fact, if you buy a Tesla, you get free over-the-air updates, and your Tesla gets better over time. You don't have to sell a Tesla back to Tesla. That's nonsense. Just go on Auto Trader, and you'll find plenty of dealers selling second-hand Teslas.
Even my local car dealership has Teslas in.
Well, if he's leased it, the lease company owns it, and he never owns it. You never own it if you've leased something.
Yeah, the Suzuki car dealership that's opposite me has Teslas in.
Yeah, they backtracked on that, Dominion. They was going to do that, but they cancelled. They reversed that decision. That was a specific case that was in the news. I remember it. Not sure what you mean, Terziev. That's why your 2011 Mini doesn't have Bluetooth. Why? Is it disabled, Halogen? And you have to pay for it. Thank you, 20 months, Pugrick. A lot of cars' sat-nav systems only work for like 3 years, don't they? Then you have to pay if you want them to carry on being updated and stuff.
Yeah. Also, with a 2011 car, just fit an aftermarket radio that has Bluetooth in, like Pioneer.
Oh, it never had Bluetooth. Yeah. Or do what Pup says, buy an aftermarket kit.
Like, you don't even need to buy a new radio. There's literally ones that you can plug into your cigarette lighter now that give you Bluetooth to your radio because it's all interconnected.
I remember owning cars where I used to swap the radio system out, swap the speakers out to get better ones because the ones they used to ship with the car was rubbish. You pull it out, go and buy a new one from Halford's, nice Panasonic one.
They don't actually suck. There's you can get some decent ones out there.
No, not anymore, Vrome. They've kind of tied it into the dash as well. Back then, there used to be almost components because the radio system was optional. So you could just get like a blanking plate if you didn't want to buy it with a radio or radio cassette player or radio CD player or anything like that. So it was an optional thing. It had a very specific bay that it plugged into, and so you had a whole aftermarket thing sprung up where they'd make replacement radios that were better. Of course, then cars used to get broken into, and then people used to specifically nick the radio cassette players or radio CD players and sell them.
The best one is when you swap a radio out and you put the original one in and then don't remember the code for the radio.
Yeah, well, that's it. So then they started putting codes on them.
And you have to go to the dealership and then wait for them to give you a code.
That's it. And if it lost power, it would need a code.
Yeah.
And that was all because of the thefts. Mr. Ferret Bomb, you raided yesterday, sir. You ready today? Thank you very much. Can we send some squirrel nuts in chat to Mr. Ferret?
I think you should do that thing again someone said they're going to sue you for.
They said, yeah, they said don't do that. I'm going to sue you or something.
I think you should do it again, Paul.
Hang on. Let me get my button right. Everybody, throw those nuts. Hang on. I need to do the other thing. Wait a sec. That's the other thing he does. Oh, you see what just happened because I was not concentrating.
Ferret Bomb will say you deserved that.
I'm literally
Can I
like...
just ask, did you have to switch hands in order to be able to click and press your button at the
Yeah,
same
because
time?
I can't click as well with my left hand. Look, I can actually. I could have done it. I'm literally 200 meters from the drop-off, and yeah, that happened.
I'm going to sue you now, Paul.
Mr. Ferret Bomb.
Is that got a crane? What is that? Oh, that's got a crane. That'll do. That'll do, pig.
That will do, Jeff. That will do. I'm going to unlock the main bridge on this map so we can get around it, because at the moment it's like impossible. I know I didn't really do much craning on Quansim, right, but at least that controls made sense.
It's not been so bad, Ferret. We've, well, I'm disoriented here. It's trying to take me back that way. It's not been so bad. Nothing significantly bad has happened. Nobody's raging yet. And we're slowly making progress. I was just saying earlier, I've not really seen any big projects yet in the game.
Hey Ken, I didn't rage for 6 hours yesterday until a certain someone rammed me with their tractor. And then that wasn't even raging at the game, that was raging at a person.
Hashtag triggered.
But I don't technically know if the clip that they posted in a certain channel saying Paul 1 is accurate, because it was meant to be raging against the game and I wasn't raging against the game. I'm upset, Imp, yeah. Also, hi Imp, hi Frome, hi Ken.
Imp's been in the chat for like 45 minutes. I even said hi, Imp.
Oh, I was probably busy doing something else. I'm sorry, Imp. I apologise.
He's just ignoring you, Imp. That's all it is.
Well, that's the first time I've seen Imp say anything.
Okay.
I apologise, Imp. I'll buy you pie and mash one day and make it up to you.
With eels.
No. Just no.
Pie and mash with eels.
No.
And special sauce.
I can do pie and mash and special sauce, but not eels.
Yeah, you gotta love that bin juice on potatoes. Oh yeah.
It's not bean juice.
Come on, Rome. You must have seen pictures of it.
Do you know what we should do, Paul? Get Alex to try eels.
Well, he's going to be in London.
That's what I mean.
He could try it. Speciality. He could try it, couldn't he?
I'm point blank refusing to.
You're the one born down south, mate. It's a tradition.
I don't care. Frome, it's in food chat. He like posts it every time he goes to the football. Hey, pie and mash is amazing, okay? If you go to the right pie shop, that is.
Isn't that what the North was built on?
Hey, the pie and mash shop we use has been there for like way over like 150 years. It's just passed down through generations. It's the only pie and mash shop my dad would go to. Imp will back me up on this. I can't stand haggis. Haggis is banned in the... Oh, yeah, I know why it's banned in the... I remember watching a documentary on it.
Terrain looks a bit broken, though.
That's what happens when you fall over, Paul.
No, more than normal.
I can't actually see properly because of how dark it is on...
Yeah, you'll want to press the crane mode and then left click for your anchors, because the anchors on that are on the rear, not on the side.
Really doesn't want to pick this up.
Try and pull the crane arm back in.
That's what I'm
so it's
doing.
Shorter.
That's exactly what I'm doing. It doesn't want to lift it. Come on. There we go. Camera is really helping. Not the way it kind of spins around voluntarily. Imagine being able to leave the lights on the other vehicle. Right. Anyway, so
Everybody throw those nuts.
Did you activate cutting losses, Paul, and harvest group?
No.
Okay.
Not until I've got this safely back. I'm not getting distracted.
So, Paul, how was Factorio last night?
It was
What were you having
alright.
for dinner, Paul?
Once I got the controls sorted again, muscle memory came back. It's all good. I just remember how the little distribution mod worked again.
What, the holding control and drag?
Yeah, dragging it over the stuff and it shares it out automatically.
At least you're a pro Factorio player, or not them amateurs you were playing with last night.
I'm not, mate. We didn't have any pros on the team. We was hoping you'd join, but you refused, so we're just a bunch of amateurs.
But what kind of a question is? I still can't get over that question.
You don't have to have a boss in the game.
Yeah, but he was like, embrace the chaos. Like, no, I'm not called Whiteland. Whiteland, if you're here, yes, I'm calling you out.
Maybe cutscene. Nope. Right, what is it you wanted? Enabling. Airport, cutting losses. Airport? Oh, 4 barrels. I don't use push to talk, do you? So I'll just put it on voice act while I'm playing. I mean, if you're using a controller, you could map a controller button to it, but it will come on at some point when you're pressing it.
Yeah, but you have a foot pedal, don't you?
I do, but it's not hooked up. And I don't know. I've never really gone down the road of trying to train my muscle memory to press on the pedal.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a bit lost without mine. So, well, I have one on the side of my mouse, and then I have a foot pedal. So it just depends on what. Obviously, I'm controller, and so I'm foot pedal right now. But okay, I had a bit of a moment there. I was like, really, I should really look at getting some fuel. Looked on the map and went, oh, there's a tanker down the road. Just as I realised that I was parked next to that service station.
Also, I did read that message. I just didn't respond because I was delivering stuff. So,
Visit the container search area.
I said I was reading chat, but I was doing something in the game and didn't want what happened to Paul to happen to me.
Doesn't the Squirrel Ross kind of negotiate the fact that you don't have to say?
No, it doesn't say me.
Okay. How you doing, Paul? Are you alright?
Yeah, tension's rising, aren't they?
Well, Pups is resorting to his usual level of...
Level of what, Sammy? Come on, spit it out, Sammy!
ambivalence.
I forgot what that means. Hang on, can I ask Google?
How's your short-term memory, Pups?
I found it, don't worry.
Did I hear Siri reading that out then? Or something? Google Translate?
Yes, Google.
I heard that being read.
You heard Google reading it out?
I heard you ask your phone then. What does ambivalence mean?
Does that mean that he actually managed to say it and they understood what he meant?
Apparently.
Yes.
Wow. Was that on Amici yesterday that came up with that, or was that somebody else?
Ambivalence. My next username, Matt.
Do I take this to mean that there's going to be special cargo somewhere in the container search area then?
Yeah, it would be a container. It would be a 2-slot container. And normally you can see it.
But have you actually got to go out there with a metal detector in order for that to prompt?
Well, it says it's recommended.
I didn't. I just went over there in a normal truck.
I guess it's a case of spotting it or scanning for it, right?
I mean, it's not hard to miss. It's a white container in the middle of a swamp.
We have a garage here, don't we?
Yeah, that one. I just unlocked it.